Marina, we're in your hands. Good to see you back.
Esteemed co-chairs, excellencies, major groups, and other stakeholders. On behalf of the Indigenous Peoples Major Group, I thank you for the opportunity to share some perspectives on how science, technology, and innovation, including a possible technology facilitation mechanism, can support the implementation of the post-2015 development agenda, including the SDGs. From an Indigenous perspective, it is important to enter into this dialogue acknowledging the historic and ongoing injustices committed against our peoples around the world under guise of these three main themes. Moving forward, particularly in a view toward a technology facilitation mechanism, the human rights-based approach is key to moving from barriers to enablers. For Indigenous peoples, SDG and post-2015 development agenda implementation can only be facilitated by increasing our visibility and opportunities for effective participation within all phases of these processes, as well as recognizing and implementing our rights, including free, prior, and informed consent. Effective participation must include monitoring and assessment of potential impacts. Co-chairs, we must also be clear that all technology is not owned by the private sector, and Indigenous innovations, technology transfers, and adaptation strategies should not only be recognized, but developed, supported, and scaled. The vital role of traditional knowledge needs to be recognized, respected, and protected. Appropriate safeguards for access and benefit sharing must also be part of the discussion. Access to science and technology, for example, should take into consideration the gender dimension, and national, regional, and global platforms for technology transfer should be established and facilitated in partnership with Indigenous governance structures and value systems. As 80% of the world's remaining biodiversity is found in Indigenous territories, technology needs to be locally appropriate, environmentally safe, sustainable, economically equitable, and proven. Regulatory frameworks for hazardous technology must also be strengthened and strictly enforced. Finally, discussion concerning the establishment of the Technology Bank for LDC must include the participation of Indigenous peoples and give equitable attention to traditional technology and knowledge systems. In closing, for Indigenous peoples, the way forward is clear. Science, technology, and innovation can support the implementation of the SDGs and the post-2015 development agenda if our rights are respected and there is political will to implement the commitments states have already made to the world's Indigenous peoples. Thank you, and I take the opportunity to invite you to a side event that we will be holding as Indigenous peoples at 1:15 in conference room 4.